Hello, hello. We have audio. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Mrs. Midnight, and as you can see today, we are in the store. This is the front side of actually the back side of the counter. It's where we have the register. Is next to me, actually. And the reason why I'm here and not in the back room where I usually go to stream without interruptions and everything is because Mr. Midnight is resting in the back room, and Cole, our stepson that usually is here with us, is not here today because there's a football game in town and everybody's super hyped about it. So I'm taking over for a while. I say this because it's possible we could get an interruption or two here and there. I don't know for sure, but if customers do enter, I will need to most likely disconnect and return once we are done. But without further ado, in case that does happen, let's start playing. As you can see, we ran out of time for the time limited optional quest of the Enchanted Secret Gathering of Hagrid's. I sadly could not finish it, and if we were closer to the end, like in the fourth part, I would consider using the gems as much as I don't want to, but as you can see, we are in part 2 of 4 on task 1 of 4 of the second part. So even if I do use 90 gems to add 3 hours, that's not gonna be nearly enough. And besides, I'm saving up my gems. So let's get out of there. Cacao Skills, how are you? Great to see you. I'm good here in the store because Mr. Midnight is resting. I'm going to go put my coat in the break room so I'm not dropping it to the floor accidentally. I'll be right back. But I'm very good and great to see you here. Alrighty. So okay, take your time, thank you. I think I just don't wanna be dropping everything. I'm so early this time. Yay, yes, you were the first. Thank you for being here. So let's see what else we can do in Hogwarts Mystery. Because we did lose that time limited optional quest. Boo. But that's alright. That's alright. Let's. Morphy's riddle. We also lost it. We didn't send him anything. Poor Morphy. Let's drink water. Lately I've been drinking water like a fish, which I guess is not bad. But because of the cold, I think I'm getting more dehydrated, so needing more liquids. And although I do enjoy a soda, I do try to drink more water than soda at least. So let's go back to Witch's Heart to see how our creature did. Ooh, repeat mission. No, I don't want a repeat mission. I mean, fine, but I want a new one. What do I want to do with repeat ones? Let's see now. Oh my god, I hate all the pop-ups. I love this game, but I hate all the pop-ups. Ooh, new plant. Sweet mouth that we do have one. Mandrakes! Nice! I do want one of those. Oh, we do need to harvest our pumpkins, that's true. Alright, let's delete all the red ones because that does overwhelm me a little bit. Alright, let's put on our earmuffs, I guess, since we need our ears protected. And also take me to the mandrake. Oh, well, I guess we have to go to the greenhouse then. Which actually wouldn't be bad because most likely our plants need taken care of. My debt issues have resolved good completely now. I can focus properly on school again. That's great. That's great because I do know by experience that debts can get all your mental attention even if you don't want it to be like that. I think one should be either a C plus or a B in the American grading system, and the other either a B plus or an A. Yay, cacao, that's awesome! Cheers to cacao. Even if it's water, but cheers to cacao. Seriously, that's very cool. That's very cool, and I'm very happy that your debt situation was solved. Because I do know how stressing that can get for anyone. Let's fertilize our sweet mouth. Granted, that one does need quite a bit of points to grow. I guess the more special or rarer the plants or more expensive, the more points they take as well. Yes, cheers to me, totally. Totally, cacao deserves, and I'm glad that you're cheering yourself because I know how hard that is to do for both of us, and it's very important. You know, granted that no one wants to be arrogant or anything, but hey, if you did something good, you did something good. And if you did something great, you did something great. Tomorrow, I'll visit my mom and I'll surprise her, my dad and my brother, who lent me all the money until this time, with the good news. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm sure. I mean, I'm glad that your family did help you when you were in need. That joy brings my heart a lot of joy that you count on your family for that. But it's also very good that you can bring them better news in that sense, because that will bring peace of mind to everyone. Maybe it will be ready to harvest. I don't know. No, I don't think so. No, I think it needs another one after this one. And we just have one more day. Oh no! That does blow. It's not gonna be available until next year. I am even able to pay them all back at once, and I even have a surplus of money left. That's great. That's great that you will have some money to yourself, also that you don't get to have your pockets empty. But it's also great that you can pay them all at once. It will be a great relief for all of them, I'm sure. And I'm very glad for you that the situation was resolved so well. Hard to cacao. To keep it that way. But now let's go see. We are still far from being able to buy the one I want, which is this one, the Venomous Tentacula. But what can we exchange? We don't have even one pumpkin, so let's say goodbye to those two. We don't need we don't have explosive mushrooms or tentaculas, so we pretty much cannot buy much except for those chocolate frogs maybe, but I don't see the point of doing it right now if there's no time limited optional event that justifies it. And with surplus, I mean an actual surplus after deducting my monthly expenses. That's great. I mean, just leisure money if you want, or to save a little. I would say, obviously, it's always good to save, but at least maybe an ice cream or a candy or something that you like. But you should treat yourself a little because you went through a horrible stress period, and hey, here you are, and you are fine. And that's because you were strong. So you should give yourself a prize. Mrs. Midnight votes for that. And if anybody else is in the chat, please help me. We need to raise the level of our water horse a little more. Well, a lot more, but we are getting her there. With our Mackle Malaclaw, I think it's not going to be quite enough, is it? I think we're going to be a few points difference. I love that he does that. All right. Molto bene. We need to get 3 diamonds, 3 stars, and Sphinx gloves, alright? Alright, but we still have a notification here, and that's from the creator that we were gonna go check. Oh, come on. Oh my god, the pop-ups! They drive me crazy every time you change screens. I am thinking about finally getting a year-long dream dress of mine. Yes! Yes, what color? Definitely you should. Ferocious creature for a comparative study about fire. Alright. Ferocious fire, no better than Indominus for that. My little baby. So, I'm not crazy about the repeat missions, really. Do you want to do the Quidditch? Go to the Quidditch practice? Or do you want to do the main story, going to the potions classroom to meet with Merula? Which would you like to pursue? Quidditch or main story? It's expensive, yes, €100 at minimum, but it's not only something I waited several years for, but it's also Christmas. I'm doing good in school, and in January is my 30th birthday. No, Cacao didn't get it. It's a birthday present, Christmas, a prize to yourself for doing good at school, and for all you went through and that you still tried from it. So, yeah, get your dress. And send pictures. Send pictures on Discord so I can see how you look with it, and I'm very sure you're gonna look beautiful when you wear it. So, I think, let's see if Quidditch is a game, like just playing the game, or if it's an actual interaction. I think, no, it's a game. No, it does take energy. So, Quidditch or main story? Maybe Quidditch, since it's like side quest. Anticipate the movements. Why would it make such a big quaffle? No distractions, no distractions. It's my time to shine. So I'm basically taking over Orion, since he's having a bit of an identity crisis. No! Oh my god, no! I almost lose my gems. Let's get out of there before that happens. What did we unlock? Oh, the earmuffs. Alright. So, needless to say, we do need more energy. See now. Ooh, let's play with more creatures. Let's go to the ocean, since there were others there. Black and purple is a gothic corset dress. Cacao, you need to get it. I love gothic clothes, and black and purple is one of my favorite combinations of that style. Like red and black or purple and black, favorite combinations of gothic style for me. I'm fine with whatever, perfect. Yes, I'll send a ton of pictures. Yay! I will be able to have a celebration ball. Yeah, in 4 years when I pass my final exam. That's beautiful. Oh my god, that's gonna be so pretty. I already told my crush I want him to be there with me. I was about to say that. You owe me a mental coke. Jinx my mental coke. So let's go back to our game. If it wants to open. There we go. Oh no. To the ones that we haven't played with. I love how it hugs us. You're a cutie. You know what? I feel bad to not feed him if we have fed the others, so let's also give him some fishy. It really sucks how fast the energy finishes in this game when you are on an 8-hour task. I mean, the 1 hour, not so much of a problem. The 3 hours, not terrible. But 8 hours, damn. First, the friendship, because that's what counts for the past mission. And we have another 2 in this area. I know we only needed 3, but we are not going to interact with everybody and leave 1 left out. Ooh, yay. Right now we are not hunting for coins, but if they give them, and we take them. And what did your crush say, Cacao, of going there with you? I mean, yeah, he will have some issues due to his social anxiety and everything, but this will be a big thing for me. No, totally. Totally. And look, I have social anxiety too. Imagine how it's like for me sometimes to run the store when it's very crowded. But I wouldn't let that get in the way to help Mr. Midnight. You know, I know if I hadn't come with him to the store, he would have those stuff on the counter. And let alone that customers would have found him asleep, that's whatever. He could have hurt himself. So, no, even if one has social anxiety, sometimes one needs to find a way to cope with it, at least for a little while, to be there for the people you love. The Kraken just ate the entire barrel as well. What a malad. Yeah! Very much so! Well, he was apprehensive at first due to his issues, okay, but did he agree in the end to go with you? Because I get it that it would be hard, that he would get apprehensive, but it is important. We need another 5, so let's keep going. But no, I mean, for example, me with my social battery is not so big, so I am selective. And for example, if I know Mr. Midnight needs me or wants me to go with him to an event that has to do with socializing, then I know that that day I'm gonna give myself rest previously to be able to be in my best possible in that moment. Besides not giving Mr. Midnight a bad time, also be able to have a good time myself. And there are ways. I'm not saying it's easy or anything, but there are ways to cope with these things, to be able to have those moments with your significant other. What else if he warms up to the idea of supporting me on this day? I think Cacao, when he's calmer, it's important for him to understand where you are coming from. Like, hey, it's not just because it's a protocol to take your significant other to these events. It's because it's meaningful for me that you are there with me, and be open about how you feel about things. By open, I'm not saying yell at him or be aggressive or anything like that. I have learned by experience that it's important to be careful with that too, but do be honest, because if he thinks it's only about doing a protocol for an event, he may think it's not such a big deal to tell you, no, you honestly don't want to. But I'm sure if he cares about you, which seems to be the case because of what you've told about your interactions with him so far, I'm sure that will give him more perspective, like, hey, you know what, even if it's an effort on my end in this case, for events like this that are besides a one-time thing, because even if you study more careers, you're not going to have another graduation from this one in particular. It's important for him to do the effort to be there with you. My logic also ate the barrel with what a lunatic, yeah! The sea serpent also hits the barrel. I don't get that. Like, is the barrel tasty? Okay. If you like wood? I wouldn't like it because of all the splinters on the teeth. Yeah, he also knows that I want to have a ball like this for years. Yeah, I know that too. If he knows that you've wanted something like this for years, remind him of that, because that's also something more to consider. You know, it's different if you are completely unaware, but if the person has already told you openly, hey, this is something very important for me, it's something I've wanted forever, for years, you really shouldn't ignore those things. You know, because it's not as simple as a plan you don't care about. This one is important. And I will make sure he's safe, that too. That too is a very important thing to share as well when you talk to him, like, hey, it's not like I'm gonna leave you there alone to your luck. I'm going to be with you. If you don't feel good, we can take a few minutes outside to you for you to cool down. If it's really being horrible for you, in the most extreme case, maybe we can think of taking off, but at least try, and trust that I will be there for you if you need me. Oh, I think I hit the interact instead of feeding, but that's okay. This one is cute. And it's beautiful that more glow bugs surround us and they are lighting. It almost looks like daylight and it's nighttime in this area. And from now, how I see our relationship, it's not the issue that I want to spend time with him in this way specifically. And from how I see our relationship, it's not the issue that I want to spend time with him in this way specifically. No, because I mean, it's something normal for the type of relationship you have. You know, if it was a guy you met in Tinder and you hooked up once and that was it, I would understand for him to say, hey, this is too much to ask from me. But if he's your crush, that you and him are interacting in a way that's leading to eventually be a relationship, for him to be your boyfriend, for you to be his girlfriend, it's important to compromise in these things, because it's impossible, whatever the specific title of the relationship is, marriage, relationship, whatever, it's impossible for things to always be 100% your way or 100% the other person's way. It has to be balanced between the two of you, because otherwise it's unrealistic for one, but also it generates a lot of resentment, and that's very corrosive to a relationship, no matter how much love there is. The main issue just lies with the social anxiety and too many strangers and being in a new environment, being overstimulated, etc. No, I get it. I, for example, saw it in an anime convention. When was it? Last year or the year before? One of the two, I believe. But at one point with my friend, I was like, Oscar, I need to get out of here. I can't take it anymore, because it was just surrounded by people everywhere. You turn around, you wanted to go from point A to point B, and you had to interact with more than 10 people just to pass from one place to another. That's too much for me. But in this case, that it's a party, a graduation, maybe there are spots of the place where the ball is going to be that you could have alone time, you know. I'm not sure what the exact location is, but if it's going to be a ball, I would imagine it's going to be either a house or a saloon of some kind that, besides a dance floor, also has tables for you to sit, maybe balconies, mm, maybe like a roof garden, or maybe even an area outside. You know, some of these places even have tables outside for people that want to smoke or just sit outside for a few minutes, even if you do not smoke. It's possible to find places without so many people. In conventions, not so much. There, even if you go to the bathroom, it's full. But in social events like these, usually there are parts where the crowd is less concentrated and you can have a more private moment between the two of you, not necessarily to do things that need closed doors, but I mean just to be the two of you without more people around, or not too many of them that would be overstimulating for him in the long run. He's burping, but because of the color of the smoke, it seems like it doesn't smell very good. Hey, I would never have random hookups, let alone ask them to accompany to my natura ball. I get it. I know that that's not your style, and in all fairness, even I never downloaded Tinder and never had that type of relationship grabbing from the internet. But I what I mean with this is that if that was your style, let's imagine in a parallel universities and with a person you met in those terms, you expect them to do so much for you. When they have social anxiety, putting myself in the place of the guy, I would say, like, hey, I like you and everything, but this is a very big deal for me to do. It's hard, and I would do it for my girlfriend or my wife, but not for a girl that I hooked up with once. But in this case, that's not the case. I mean, I'm repeating words, but in this case, that's not what's happening. And so it's important for him to also understand that when you are involved in a deeper level with someone, that inevitably sometimes it's going to require to get a little out of the comfort zones. It cannot, as I said, be always the way one likes it. I'll definitely try my best to make him as comfortable as possible. You know what? Maybe you could even ask him when he is in social situations that make him uncomfortable and he cannot leave right away for whatever reason, if there's anything that helps him. Maybe go to a less crowded place for a while, take a few deep breaths, drink something, eat something. It's different from for everybody, but that can also be a good approach. Tell me, please, how I could help you. I want to make this as bearable for you as possible, but also for you to hopefully have fun, besides going with me having a good time. Because I would also think when he sees that you're also thinking of his well being and him having a good time as much as you, that gives a change of the perspective as well, at least a little bit. But I think it could be that hard since at that time I'll be part of the main attraction, right? Right. I mean, that's also a good point since it's your graduation. If, for example, all the graduates are required in the dance floor for a moment or things like that, or if someone in your family wants to tell you something, it's possible that you won't be able to be super glued to him all the party. But then maybe think of ways he can cope with the social anxiety in those moments and try to be with him as much as you can. If you have one or two friends here in common, not many, one or two, maybe if you invite them, they could help you to be with him in those moments. From what I already gathered, he listens to music or plays on his Switch to distract himself. That's perfect. He can take either his headphones or his Switch or whatever he wants to like distract himself a little bit in the moments that he needs it. I mean, hopefully he will try to be present with you at least the majority of the time, but if he needs a break here and there, that's a good solution actually. Well, fixating on someone he knows could just be his mom's husky also helps. That too? That too, if the place is pet friendly, that's a great idea. 'Cause besides animals, give a very pure form of affection that can be extremely comforting. Thought we had something. Oh, yeah. Serving 50 foods, 5 stars from Creature Expeditions, experience 10 times, 200, and we get more points. Alright, so let's go to the caves now. But yeah, I think all the solutions that you have thought of so far, Cacao, are good, and they are surely going to help. I mean, the earwax, okay, whatever. Everybody does it here and there, but dude, no. Who does that with their food? Besides the armpit all dirty with God knows what. Ugh. In that case, unless I bring a common friend of ours or his mom along, he'd be fixating on me. Well, I mean, as much as he can fixate on you, that's great because it's you that he's going to accompany. But I think if it's possible that you bring a friend or his mom or someone that can be with him in the times that you can't, that would not be such a bad idea. Because let's face it, you are a graduate. What if the graduates are gonna take a photo? You don't want to exclude yourself from it. It's a memory. Or even, what if you need to go to the bathroom? You know? And what if for any reason you need to take a moment or two because you don't feel well or whatever? You shouldn't feel that you are failing to keep him safe for taking care of a need. Or even if somebody of your friends or family want to talk to you for 10 minutes, that shouldn't be so disastrous for him, you know? Maybe it would help to have somebody else to hang with him in those moments. I love how she turns herself into a snowball. And how he hits her head because of the tongue sticking. It's adorable. Let's do another region because I don't think we have enough yet. I think I closed YouTube accidentally on the phone, but we are still there. Let's do another region. That's what matters. And I'm seeing that there's no game sound, and that's because of the damn microphone I'm using here, but that's the only one I have, and if I don't use it, the one of the computer for me to speak is horrible. My voice sounds like a robot. I love how this guy has a like an angry grin or a frown, no matter how friendly he is to you. But at least he doesn't lash at us anymore. I love that frog that hangs himself like a monkey. I mean, it's a clavert, the name of the creature, but I love it. It's a frog that moves like a monkey. The other day I made the mistake of telling Mr. Midnight my zodiac sign in the Chinese horoscope because in the Occidental one I like my sign. I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull, and that fits me completely, but in the Chinese one, I'm a monkey. And since Mr. Midnight says that I'm very silly, like the way I joke and what have you, and that I'm smart in the important things, but in my way of joking, I do in a very silly way. He's like, monkey, no wonder. I'm like, Oh, I didn't remember that his interaction of friendship was Johnny. But he looks cute. I love that dragons are huge badass creatures, but I find them adorable. They are like teddy bears with scales. See what we unlocked. 100 food and I don't want to spend that much, and I'm not gonna spend gems. I mean, I'm not gonna spend gems, and I don't want to spend the caramel for it, so that one won't be, but was that it? Alright, yeah, those are the only ones we can complete, because these ones we did already. So, time for the interactions. In that case, unless I bring a common friend of ours or his mom along, oh no, I already read that one. I thought there was a new message. Oh, actually there are, but for some reason this thing is not updating them. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, true, but until that ball I can prepare properly with him totally. Talk of everything you need to find ways to make him more comfortable, and I hope you have a blast that day. Meaning 4 years, but still. I wanted to visit him during New Year's Eve and my birthday again, but with how busy early and mid-January gets with all the exams, it would be a better idea if I stay home. I'm a pig in the Chinese zodiac. What should I say about this? Yeah, no, Chinese zodiac has many animals, and it's like, dude, really? Do you think people want to identify with themselves with a pig or with a monkey or with? There's another one. There's a mouse, I think, or there's another animal I would not like either. But I'm sorry it's hard for you to go on the holidays, Cacao, to visit him. What would be the prospect of him visiting you this time around? Let's visit the Sphinx Club because we need points from it and it also has interactions. So, double win. And I haven't asked Mr. Midnight what his Chinese zodiac sign is, or I don't know if he even knows. Drink the wolf's bane potions before a full moon. Before breakfast! Or before running into a werewolf. No, if you drink it and not the werewolf, it's not gonna do shit. It's gonna be like when Red Riding Hood tied her boyfriend up in Once Upon a Time so he wouldn't turn into a wolf and kill her, and the problem was that she was the wolf. So, alright, we need to get out of here. And now we need to gather energy to see how far we can get, at least with the Quidditch mission, because today I wouldn't like to really spend coins, besides the fact I don't have enough for the chocolate frogs. Since we are not doing anything that has a limit of time, I'd rather not overspend my coins or gems in the game for things that actually can wait, you know, that nothing happens if you don't finish them in the first attempt. With the time limited quests, I do set a sense of urgency because they may take a while to repeat, but just the main quest or the Quidditch quests, I think it's a little excessive. Let's go to the hippogriff. Sadly, he can't use public transportation on his own. Oh. And how about someone taking him or picking him up? Is that super impossible to happen? See where the energy that we have at the moment gets us, because, well, let's gather the one with the snitch at least, since we are already there. Because yeah, these 8-hour quests just take a lot of energy, and I want to get rid of this one. I don't want to have to do it again, because I already had once. Let's watch a video, but without sound. So he'd have to visit me with someone else, or I'd need to get him and bring him back the entire way. Otherwise, he'd be panicking badly. No, I understand, and we don't want to chance that because that can be dangerous when you're alone on the street. But how would you feel about picking him up and getting him back? I mean, not every day, obviously, but I mean, for the time that he visits you, let's say if he's gonna stay 4 days, picking him up the day he's gonna go with you, like the day he's gonna arrive to your house, and taking him back the day he leaves. How would that work? Let's watch the last one so we can finish at least that Quidditch interaction. But I think after this, I'm not sure what to do on the streaming because, for one, I should check on Mr. Midnight to see if he wants to close shop and go home. Because right now he's sleeping, but in the back room here, and we don't have a bed there. We have a sleeping bag that does help, but it's not the same as his bed. I want him to rest well. But let's check what else we have here to do. So we at least last until 5:30. Let's see now. Great work, team! You forgot the distractions and focused your minds to anticipate the movements of the other, which means that you will be able to anticipate the movements of your opponents when the moment comes. But now I need to test my mind with a new movement. Not bad, Gladys. Thank you, Sky. Now you can go rest before the practice. Do this at this pace, we will find the balance before our next game between houses. True, we already strengthened two sides of our being. We train our bodies and strengthen our minds. Now there's just one thing left, the heart. I guess we left the best for the end. And with a strong and brave heart, no player can lose. So let's go learn about the last side of the being to be ready for the next game. All right. Obviously, we are out of energy. Let's read Cacao. So, oh, I already read that. Well, if we were closer to each other, it would be a whole lot easier. Closer as in living closer together. I go by train for 8 hours every time I visit him. Okay. Okay, so I do get the point that if you go all the way there, the 8 hours, it should be to stay, at least for a couple days, because going there 8 hours and then back the same day 8 hours, no, that does sound exhausting. How feasible would it be to have like half and half? Like you get there, stay for a couple days, and then he joins you on the way back home and stays with you for a couple days. Would that sound a little more feasible? Well, no, but then for you to come back, we have the same problem. That does sound a little challenging. Is there anyone else that can help him with that? Like with the picking up and what have you? I usually stay for 10 days. Yeah, no, I understand. If the trip is so long, it's 8 hours. You obviously do not do that to stay one day. No, that's mortal. All right, so we have a few points. Magic creature, magic pass. Ooh, nice. We unlocked a bunch of stuff. Very good. How long on this thing? One more day. Oof. And we don't have any more achievements available. Dang. Nice. See what we got right here. I wish they gave it time caramels, but they never give those. I don't even know how the hell to get those. Ooh, there's a dueling event. And a potion game, but since we don't need energy urgently at this moment, I'm gonna go for the books. else? Here's the bag. But we're gonna be short on one. Well, at least we know where the majority of the items are. Chocolate frogs, do we have any available? No. And as said, I do not really want to spend at this moment. I'd rather save them for whenever there's a time limited optional quest. So let's go to the dueling hall. And yeah, no, I get it, Cacao, that you would still need to bring him back. So that's why I wondered if there's anyone, like friend or relative of his, that can do him the favor of accompanying him in transport or driving him or whatever is the easiest. Because yeah, no, I do understand that it's one thing to do an effort for the person that you love, but for you to go through all that and have to do it twice in the same day, yeah, no, that's just exhausting, and you cannot neglect your studies either. Ooh, I think Mr. Midnight's waking up. Baby? Yes, he's awake. Well, that's good. Hopefully he feels rested. But in that case, I do think I need to start cutting this short. Maybe after this duel, we should disconnect for tonight, because Mr. Midnight has been in peak season, as I told you, working 6 days a week. And I swear to God that if I had the strength to, I would carry him to bed. Plus 120 euros per trip one way isn't something I can dish out 4 times if I were to get him and bring him back, and that is if I pay for my part. True to no, definitely he would at least have to pay for his own part, because you cannot pay $240 per trip 4 times. That's just insane. Good morning, Nate. Did you sleep well? Oh, I'll tell him the minute he comes out, because I think in the moment he is still on the back and I don't think he will hear me. But once he comes, maybe he will be able to say hi to you before I disconnect. So I'm not gonna start another duel, guys, because if Mr. Midnight wants to go home, I don't want him to have to wait for me. Ooh, we got 50 units of energy when we don't need them. I mean, we always need them, right? But I wish we had that when we are desperate to finish a time-limited optional quest. But alright. So, Mr. Midnight, Cacao says hi to you, one of my midnighters.
Hola.
It's in English. It's in the English channel.
Oh.
You don't have to speak Spanish.
Hello there.
But she speaks German, so German, please, baby. Let me wrap this up.
Okay.
So, well, let's see the messages. Yes, carry your hobby to bed. You see, Cacao supports me carrying you to bed. So, baby, let's go. I need to train to be able to do it. But for now, Midnighters, Mrs. Midnight has to leave for tonight. I hope you had fun playing Hogwarts Mystery with me. And remember that Mr. Midnight loves you. Hopes to see you next time. And we'll see you next week and on the next video. If you haven't already, go watch the next